What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video, and I know it's been a while, and I need to do these more consistent. Uh, for the most part, I'm glad to be doing a video, and hopefully this will become a trend where I do more. If you haven't checked out the First and Framerates podcast, man, check it out. A lot of positive feedback, a lot of good content as far as the podcast goes, and we will continue to do what we do. A lot of big things coming up with that podcast as well, so if you guys haven't checked it out, please do. It's here on the channel, and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we talk about sports and sports gaming. Myself, Bill's Fourth, DJ81, we sit there and we just talk about sports and sports gaming and give you our opinions on topics that comes about throughout the week. So I just hope you guys check it out. Now, there was a topic on the podcast last week where we talked about physical games, as far as GameStop going out of business or whatever, and this could be a demise to physical copies of games. Now, me, honestly, I could really care less if all games go digital or whatever, but I know that there's a big soft spot in me that loves physical copies of games. I mean, there's just no denying it. I have a bunch of games over here, and I have some games over here that I'm going to show you guys why I love physical copies of games, and the trend is just going away. I don't need to show you all of these games. These are just a few games that I picked up that I just thought that could use a instruction manual, and the reason why I think physical copies of these particular games are very vital. But like, everything's digital now. I mean, they even have digital instruction manuals, so for some people it's more convenient to scan your phone, but a person like me, I like to get the little booklet and actually look at the artwork and look at the instructions. In some cases, look at some of the backstory of some games without just popping the game in and learning all about it as I go. But that's just me. Now, if you look at games nowadays, like you see the Xbox One games I have here, Forza 7, Gears of War, Halo 5, these don't even have instruction manuals. I mean, they just don't. I mean, you pick up something like this, I mean, you just get a disc. And for some people, it's just a waste. Me, I like to put these things up on my shelf, to have the room look aesthetically nice. You know, it's just nice to have these things up in the room, posted on those shelves or whatever. But to me, it just feels like it's very hollow when they don't have anything in them. Like I said, once again, Gears of War, nothing. Halo 5, I mean, nothing. And these games, you know, they have a pretty decent story in them where you can get some intricate details about the games as they go. I mean, I know Forza don't necessarily have a story, but they could have an instruction manual where you can really learn about the cars that are in the game. So that's one thing that I like about it, and I just wish that they would, you know, do that. But I know that physical media is just going by the wayside. You know, there's no denying that. And for me, I always said that if they was to go mostly digital or all digital, I feel that these physical copies that are coming out in the later generations should be a premium price, because, or at least that the digital copies of games would go down. But there's not many PS4 games or Xbox One games with instruction manuals. I mean, you look at, let's say for instance, Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a new IP that would be excellent to have an instruction manual, and it just has, you know, something for MLB to show. You know, and for some people, you know, this is a waste, especially with some of the games now that they just download to the console, and you don't really use the disc anyway. You know, so it's kind of a waste just to have it. I felt that Mega Man 11, especially with the history of Mega Man, could have used one as well. But, you know, they only have, you know, just telling you to buy the Legacy Collection. Red Dead Redemption 2, big backstory in this game, but it doesn't have anything in it special either. But, you know, it's just, like I said, these games are something that I thought that would be really valuable to one. Now look at this. This is a steel case game. This is Yakuza Kiwami. Excellent steel case. It's beautiful. And when you open it, you don't get anything but a disc. You would think that something like this would have an instruction manual. I mean, just something that just you can just call your own. Something that you can say like, "Hey, this is mine." You know, and where's the game? Like this one here, Resident Evil 4. Now, you know, for certain, this game doesn't really need introduction. It really don't need an instruction manual if you know the history of Resident Evil 4. So, but this one right here, the PlayStation 2 version, these games back in the day did a phenomenal job with an instruction manual. Now, I still have mine. Still looks pretty clean based on when I had it back in the day. But it gives you a backstory of the weapons dealer. Everybody want to know about him. Just other things about the game that you can learn. Now, I know, like I said, for some people, it's just not, it's not feasible for people to have an instruction manual. Some people don't care for stuff like this. People like me and people who do like collect games and keep games and like physical copies, they love stuff like this. I love this type of stuff. I mean, you look at another fighting game that I love, King of Fighters 13 on the PS3. Instruction manuals are very vital to this because, I mean, this one has a very good instruction manual. Really nice thick one. It gives you all the moves to the characters in the game. And, you know, it just creates, like, you own something. Like, this is an entire package. Compared to, even with the Steelbook of King of Fighters 14, the game that came out after 13, nice looking steel case. You open it, there's nothing in here. You still have to learn the moves. You don't know what the moves are. And, you know, unless if you go on the internet, I mean, everybody has the internet, but for some people, it's just something nice to have. And, you know, it's just funny how, you know, with times change, you know, you get less with some, you know, with some products that you get. You know, King of Fighters 13, 14 is a prime example. Now, back in the day, you know, before I close this up, well, before I get to that, I'm going to just give you another example. Raiden 4 and 5. Raiden 4 gives you a nice little instruction manual. Shows you how to play the game, the type of planes that you can fly to, you know, to shoot down enemies. Raiden 5, here, the director's cut. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. Now, this is beautiful. You get a CD with a soundtrack in it. That's awesome. But you don't get a manual with it. But I think this is close to something that you can say that, hey, I'm getting something, you know, extra outside of the digital copy. I know some people probably get the digital music as well. I think the PlayStation 4 game that did this the best, or one that did the best, was EDF 4.1. This game is a pretty fun game, good game to play online with people. It gives you a very nice instruction manual as well. It just feels like you own the game. You know, I just love stuff like this. It's awesome. Now, before I go, like back in the day, I'm just going to clean it up with what else we have left. The Sega Genesis, Rocket Knight Adventure, is one of my favorite games. I remember getting a game like this, coming home, and on the way home, if my mom would let me, I would take the instruction manual out, and I would read the instruction manual on the way home. I mean, I guess it's somewhat it's the kid in me that loves stuff like this, but Rocket Knight Adventure is another great game that I love to have, and it had the instruction manual. And we're going to finish this off with Tomb Raider, which I don't think any of the Tomb Raiders on the Xbox One version or the PS4, I don't think they have instruction manuals or whatever. They may have them in the deluxe edition. I have it over there. I didn't pick it up. But I just wanted to show off the Saturn case because I love the long box Saturn cases. And this is one of the things that you can honestly say, like, hey, I bought this. I feel like I purchased something that has some value to it. And it's just amazing. I don't have the little thing on it. I don't know what happened to the little phone part. But these long box Saturn games done a phenomenal job with instruction manuals and just the presentation of what you buy. You know, I just think it was something that's very, very beautiful to have. A full long box case with the game in it. You put this on your shelf. It feels like you own a piece of something. You know, I mean, for somebody like me who has a game room, things like this are essential. And like I said, I don't care if they go to digital or whatever. That's fine. I have a lot of digital games. I mean, I have a PC, all this stuff up here is a bunch of games. But at the end of the day, it just feels it fills the room up really nice when you have something like this in your room and you call it your own, and you have people that come over that wants to look at some things and they see a little bit of history with some games instead of just having a bunch of digital games on a console, and nobody quite frankly wants to go through all of that stuff on a console. It's much easier if somebody can see it on a wall and be like, hey, that looks nice. But I don't think that's going to be the future, man. I think the next Xbox or the PS4, you may have, physical copies of games, but, especially with GameStop going out of business or they're tanking or whatever, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because, if the games are digital, that's cool. But in some sense, I kind of rather for them to be digital because, like I said, you don't even get the full package of games like you used to get. The instruction manuals. Sometimes you'll get some artwork. Like my San Andreas, my Grand Theft Auto posters that I have up here, you don't get the full package like you used to. So, just having something like this, to me, it just feels real hollow. I got a stupid Xbox Live Gold stuff. It just feels hollow when you get something like this. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, check out the First and Framerates podcast. We do a lot of sports talk, a lot of gaming talk, a lot of stuff that quite, I feel that is interesting to guys in our demographic that, that are around our age that just like to talk about sports and gaming and just things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys take care. Peace.